Hello and welcome to Workshop Studios. Today we're going to be putting together a crib known from IKEA as the Sniglar. Try to pronounce that one. Here's a picture of it right here so you can see what it looks like all set up. And uh, I'll show you just now how it comes. It comes in two pieces. There's a mattress and a box. So let's open it up and see what it looks like. So I've already opened the tape here and looks like it's nicely set up here. There's just all the pieces in there, all laid out. So let's get everything out of the box and we'll see how it goes together. All right, so the first thing I like to do is just lay out all the hardware, get it sorted. And yes, in fact, the count is correct. 8 of these groups, 4 of these, and some miscellaneous things here. And then we'll get started with that. When we swing over here, and typical IKEA, they've got good instructions. So our first step is to put 2 of the side panels on with one of the end ones using those long bolts. And they give you a couple of tools here with the right end on them. Oop, get that in focus. But it also, this works too. So you'll see me using my power drill, and that this is a regular star drive that you'll find with lots of construction and deck screws nowadays. So it's a very common type of tool to with these kinds of fasteners. So let's get started. Okay, so just a general introduction. The way these fasteners work is one of these round thing goes here, and you see it's threaded on the inside. Oops, there we go. See, it's threaded, and it fits one of these longer screws, so it'll thread into that. So the way it works is you put this in here, like that, and then you put this one through the other bar and into this, and that's what holds it together. I'll show you. So I found the easiest way to do one of these projects when you've got bits like this that want to fall over is find a place you can lean one of the side rails up against like this. It's up against that bed, and I've turned it so this one's actually facing down. I know the instructions say it kind of looks like having it up, but the reason is because those holes will line up down at the bottom down there, and I don't have to try and hold them all together. So I'll start by putting that bottom one in, and then we'll put well, maybe I'll do the top one first here. So let me start by putting the top one in here, and then I'll do the bottom one. All right, so here's this round one, and it goes in this hole like I showed you, and it's upside down right now. You kind of got to make sure it's facing the right way so that this bolt can come into it. Get it up there, get this one started in the hole like that, and then once the two of them, you find that it's in the hole, it should just start threading on its own. Let's see, did I get it oriented right? Let's see, try that again. That feels better. Yep, that started. Now I can use my power drill to go ahead and just now I don't want to tighten it all the way up because we have to get all these things put together. So I'll leave it kind of loose first, and then we'll do the next one. Okay, I'm going to just kind of focus down to the bottom here now, and you'll be able to see this a little better. So I'm going to bring this over here, take this one, and put it in so that it's oriented correctly. Put that in there, and you can see the slot actually lines up with the hole. So if you get the slot sort of pointed the right way, it should be in the right spot. And there we go. I think that's threaded in there. We'll tighten that up. There we go. We'll just leave that kind of loose. Now I'll go ahead and do that on the other side here. I'll show you what that looks like. Now this side has 2 holes, You'll say, which one do I use? Well, it's the one that lines up over here. See over here. This one lines up. It's right in the middle of this bar. So you just go over here, and that one lines up in the middle of that bar. So we use the top hole for this one here. And again, you see I'm sort of just leaning things against each other so you don't have to try and do a balancing act. Yep, got it. Okay, I'll do the bottom one. All right, good. So now it's still wobbly, and I want to leave it that way. Now there's next set of instructions on number 2 here. Could seem a little confusing, but really all we're doing is putting this hook in there. It's a hook with a shaft on it, and that's this part. That's what they're saying, and it hooks on with this nut and bolt arrangement. And we're working on this part. This is the kind of the bed area, if you might, where the child will lay or stand. And we're working on these holes here. So I've got our bolt here, got our little pin, and we've got the nut. And so I'm going to put the nut through the pin, put that in there, this down there, and then just sort of screw them in. Oops, I'll show you. Just sort of screw it in there like that. And that's really all there is to it. And then I'll tighten that up with my drill. I don't think I'll get it all the way tight. I'll come and tighten everything. Now you might need one of their tools to hold this bottom part. It's spinning in my finger, so we'll do that when we tighten these up. I'll do the other 3. You don't need to see each one. You might find the cloth in the way of the hole. No big deal. Just push it out of the way when you put everything together. So I'll show you here. Get the bottom one in there. And just kind of push it out of the way. Put the nut in there, or the bolt. There we go. I would say just keep it out of the way till you get it tightened down. There you go. See, so it just slips over the top of that. All right, so the next one, number 3, is we're going to turn the crib on the edge, because we need to slide this base or the bottom part down into the crib, and it shows you 2 settings here, one for a little baby and one for a big baby. Little baby, the bed is up a little higher, and for a bigger kid, it's down lower. Now in our case, we have a little guy, so we're going to put it at this level. All right, so here it is set up. I'm going to show you, just slightly tricky, is that these pins have to go into these holes here. There's the holes for the lower ones, there and there, and there's the holes for the upper one. Their pins are already in it, there and there. But notice that the pin is slightly angled to go into that. So just need to turn that pin out slightly on both sides so that it slides right in. And the next part is just to put the other end on while it's still standing up like this and slide it onto the pins. So our pins are going to need to go out just at a little bit of an angle here on either side, about like that. And then we take this other side and put it on there. By the way, these beveled edges go to the outside, so the screws sit flush. Hopefully you can see that. Now I'm going to go ahead and match up those holes. Here we go. That's better. And then the zipper hole here. There we go. And now this will line up like that. And I'm just going to go ahead and put these screws in there just like I did before. So over here and over there. There we go. Okay, so now this is actually locked into place because those pins are in place. So in essence, the crib is sort of put together now. All right, now you'll find in this configuration where the bed is going to be a little higher. That would be for older kids, is the bed's down that low, so they can't climb out. This one is a little higher, so you can reach over the top and get to the kids easier. So there's two configurations where the bed is higher, lower. There's a third configuration though, where when the bed is lower, you can also have this front panel gone. So in essence, it's like a little day bed for the kid. I'll show you on the drawings. So it's this configuration here where you'd have the mattress here, and the child can basically get in and use it as their bed, in and out on their own. So the way that you do that is you take the side panel off and put this bar on there, and I'll show you that bar it was leaning up against there, and then put everything back together. So that you'll have some bits left over along with this piece of wood that you'll need to store someplace. Probably best to put a label on it and save these instructions. So if you're looking at the crib, you see this part would be down lower, and this bar would go across here like that. And that's what these two holes are for. There's two holes that would go into these two holes here. So they leave you all the hardware for that so that you can put that configuration together if need be. But at this point, I'm going to call it D for done, for us at least. I'll put the mattress in there, but that's, you know how to do that. So really, that's all it is. That's all it takes to put an IKEA crib together, a Sniglar. And there we go. If you want to practice it, Sniglar. Alrighty. Well, thanks for watching. Hope your crib goes together nicely. And we'll catch you on the next video. Please like and subscribe. So we'll see you later. Bye.